seat.
The queen seat. The queen seat. The problem is it's sometimes reflecting atoms and pictures.
There we go. That solves the problem that doesn't exist.
And it would bounce them off. So I'm not sure. I may stand at the edge.
So you're going to take pictures during?
Well, I think we're going to wait and do them posed.
And you played it to the beat. Then was over. Memory of count your blessings. Whatever you've been for. Oh my soul. Wait, listen, John, you know the song.
Oh my goodness.
Harley, you took 181 pictures on my phone. Wow. You're welcome.
Ready, babe. Ready, babe. Someday those money cost money.
To the beat of it all, rolling in the deep. You had my heart inside your hands, and you played it to the beat. Sorry. Oh, we gotta go. We gotta go. Wait, my mother has to speak first, man. Come on. Yeah, that's the point.
To mimic as closely as possible the early modern playhouse, the Blackfriars, which is the indoor theater, which seemed appropriate. And so they had, the thing about the Blackfriars was, it was for the nobility. And the more expensive seats came. And so they just had way after way of making some seats more special and more expensive after another. One of them we can't offer you, balcony seats, complete with very special chairs, but was drawn by our resident artist, Lauren Matthews. The artwork on this side was the collective work of the entire class, but giving you a little warning, they would hang flags to tell you what genre of play you're likely to see. Othello is a black flag for tragedy, Much Ado is a white flag for comedy, and as you can see at the top, Taming of the Shrew, we kept changing our minds about how that one was best classified. Starts as a comedy, does not end that way. So we're going to be presenting selected scenes. I do want to encourage those of you to come sit in our lovely boards chairs, which we have marked with our cloths. All right. Now, and if you want an even more special seat, or someone tall just sat in front of you, the even better seats, the most expensive seats in the house were actually on the stage itself. The gallant stools. We don't have stools, but if you would like to come, and we can have about 3 or 4 people on each side sitting on the floor, and if you don't like your seats, you can have a perfect view. No one will be in front of you on the gallant stools. So I'll give you a minute to run for it if you want to change your seat. If you're unhappy with where you sit, go for it.
Sit in the very middle and see what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah, so only on the sides, not first thing. They'll run into you right there. They'll run right into you right there. All right. Okay, yes. All right, very good. Now there we go. We don't need anybody in the back row with a crowd this size. Thank y'all for coming out. Okay, so now that we have all the really special areas designated, you notice we have just fluorescent lights. They would have had only candles, so that's actually accurate. But that, of course, meant you could see your neighbor just as clearly as you could see the actors. And so Elizabethan actors had to be especially entertaining to keep the attention on them, especially in the more rough and tumble outdoor playhouses. People were always trying to sell things. We are in the indoor playhouse, so we will be polite and not try and sell each other peanuts while the actors are pausing dramatically. However, an important thing to realize is someone asked me if the special seats were audience participation zone. The thing about Elizabethan Playhouse is that everywhere is the audience participation zone. When Hamlet comes out and is talking is to be or not to be, all that whole speech, he's asking the audience to tell him whether or not he should carry on. And often, apparently, they would answer. If you choose to do so tonight, we just ask that you stay on topic and not make inside advanced jokes with your roommate. Now, another matter, all of our actors are wearing, so we've tried to recreate that as much as possible. One thing we could not recreate, we do not have real swords in this performance. We have instead...
Thank you.
Yes. I forgot the most special seat of all, which Miss Harriet is in. Yes, where Queen Elizabeth would sit. Indeed, and exactly, we all had to applaud her before the show began. All right, but we don't have swords, we have PVC pipes. Please treat them as swords. They are always swords when they appear in our show. They're never standing in for clubs or any other long weapon or whatever else a pipe can represent. We've also gone much simpler on costumes than they would have gone then. We have our black shirts, and there's going to be a costume piece added, which I always think works better at advance. We're used to seeing this as something that designates who a person is. We have only select scenes, so occasionally, for example, Archie and I might play the same character in 2 different scenes. So we would just trade costume pieces, and so the same Iago you'll know by wearing the same hat. So if you see someone in the same costume piece, that's what's going on with that. All right. Another note is that the TA, Freddie May, and myself will be taking on a few roles. We ask for your indulgence because we had to pick those roles up today, and because we unfortunately had a student who had to leave our class. So if we're on book, please forgive us. And we're doing the best we can to recreate that performance. Now, if you're wondering if it's only select scenes, how am I going to follow the story? I don't know Taming of the Shrew, Much Ado About Nothing, or Othello. Well, don't worry. We're going to explain what you need to know to appreciate the scene in our lovely introductions, which the students wrote themselves, and one of which should be coming around that door.
We start off with Shakespeare's play, The Taming of the Shrew. This upcoming scene happens toward the beginning, and in it you will see 3 characters. Catherine, the shrew of the story, who is a strong-willed, feisty female lead, is somewhat jealous of her younger, prettier sister Bianca, who has way more suitors than Catherine, who has, well, none. At the end of the scene, their father Baptista comes in. His favorite child is Bianca, and everyone knows it, especially Catherine.
Good sister, wrong me not, nor wrong yourself. To make a bondmaid and a slave of me, that I disdain. But for these other goods, unbind my hands. I'll pull him out myself. Yea, all my raiment to my petticoat, or what you will command me will I do, so well as I know my duty to my elders.
Of all thy suitors here I charge thee, tell whom thou lovest best. See thou dissemble not.
Believe me, sister, of all the men alive, I've never yet beheld that special face that could see more than any other.
Mickey, thou liest. Is it not Hortensio?
If you affect him, sister, here, I swear, I'll plead for you myself, but you shall have him.
Oh, then belike you fancy riches more. You will have Gremio to keep you fair?
Is it for him you do envy me so? Nay then, you jest, and I perceive you have but jested with me all this while. I pray, Sister Kate, untie my hands.
If that was jest, then all the rest was so.
Why, how now, James? Whence go this insolence? Bianca, stand aside. Poor girl, she weeps. Go ply thy needle. Meddle not with her. For shame, thou hiding of devilish spirit. Why didst thou wrong her that did near wrong thee? When did she cross thee with a bitter word?
Her silence flouts me, and I'll be revenged.
What? In my sight? Bianca, get thee in.
What? Will you not suffer me? Nay, now I see. She is your treasure. She must have a husband, and I must dance barefoot on her wedding day. and for your love to her leap and down. Talk not to me, for I will go sit and weep till I can find occasion of revenge.
Was ever gentleman thus grieved as I? But who comes here?
Leading up to our next scene, Kate married a psychopathic, misogynistic man named Petruchio. He has starved her, deprived her of sleep, gambled on her at her sister's wedding, and driven her to the brink of insanity. After Bianca's wedding, Petruchio wants to show off how he has tamed Kate.
Fie, unknit that threatening, unkind brow, and dart not scornful glances from those eyes. To wound thy lord, thy king, thy governor, it blots thy beauty as frost do bite the meads, confounds thy fame as whirlwinds shake fair buds, and is in no sense meet or amiable. A woman moved is like a fountain troubled, muddy, ill-seeming, thick, bereft of beauty, and while 'tis so, none so dry or thirsty will deign sip or touch one drop of it. Thy husband is thy lord, thy life, thy keeper, thy head, thy sovereign, one that cares for thee. And for thy maintenance commits his body to painful labor, both by sea and land. Too little payment for so great a debt. Seeks no other tribute at thy hand, but love, fair looks, and true obedience. And when she is froward, peevish, sullen, sour, and not obedient to his honest will, what is she but a coward, a rebel, and gracious traitor to her loving lord? I am ashamed that women are so simple, to offer war when they should rather kneel for peace, to seek for rule, supremacy, and sway, when we are bound to serve, love, and obey. Why then are our bodies soft, unapt to toil and trouble in the world? But that our soft conditions and our hearts should well agree with our external parts. Come, you froward and unable worms, my mind hath been as big as one of yours. My heart is great, my reason hath thee more, to bandy you word for word upon frown for frown. But now I see that our lances are but straws, our strength is weak, our weakness past compare. Then veil your stomachs, for it is no boot, and place thy hair below thy husband's foot. To which duty, if he please, my hand is ready made to him ease.
To open Much Ado About Nothing, we chose a scene near the beginning of the play. We have learned a Renaissance-esque dance to show how the scene happened in Shakespeare's time. You will also notice the male characters wearing masks, which they think will perfectly conceal their identities. You will then meet three couples. First, Hero and Don Pedro, who flirt good-naturedly. Next, Margaret and Balthazar, who experiences unrequited attraction. Lastly, you will meet Benedict and Beatrice, who love to hate each other. Let the dance begin.
Lady, will you walk about with your friend?
I may say so when you please. So you look sweetly and say nothing. I'm yours for the walk. Especially when I walk away.
Was me in your company?
I may say so when I please.
And will please you to say so.
when I like your favor. For God defend the lute should be like the case.
My visor's still in Shrew. I believe the house is Joe.
Why then your visor should be thatched.
Speak low. You should speak of love.
I would you did like me.
So would not I. For your own sake. For I have many ill qualities.
Which is one.
I say my prayers aloud.
I love you to pet. May the hearers cry, amen.
God match me with a good dancer.
Amen.
And God keep him out of my sight when the dance is done.
Answer, clerk.
No more words. The clerk is answered.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
Nor will you tell me who you are.
Not now.
That I was disdainful, that I had my good wit out of 100 merry tales, or that a Signor Benedict had said so?
What's he?
I'm sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
Does he never read the wire?
I pray you, what is he?
He is the prince's jester. A very dull fool. Only libertiness delight in him. His commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy. For he both pleases men and angers them. And men they laugh at him and beat him. I'm sure he is in the same fleet. I would he had boarded me.
When I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say.
Do. He'll but break a commendation or two on me, which not marked or not laughed at, strikes him to melancholy. And then there's a party for the stage for the fool will eat no supper that night. You must follow belief.
In every good thing.
Nay, say Lieutenant, I will leave him at the next meeting.
It's the night before Hero and Claudio's wedding, and things are about to take a turn. Don John, the prince's evil brother, has been plotting to ruin the wedding, and has sent his lackey, Braccio, to do his dirty work. Meanwhile, the prince's watchmen are preparing for their night shift. Dogberry, the head watchman, and his right-hand man, Vergis, give very confusing directions to their underlings. George Sequel and Hugh Oatcake. As soon as the two incompetent watchmen are left on their own, Baraccio and his colleague Conrad stumble upon the area unaware of the watchmen. The watchmen stay undetected and listen in on Baraccio as he spills his evil deeds to Conrad.
Are you good men and true?
Yeah, or else do I pity that it should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Nay, that were punishment too good for them, if they should have any allegiance in them, being chosen for the prince's watch.
Well, give me that charge, David, don't worry.
First, who think you the most deserved man to be constable?
George Sequel, sir, for he can write and read.
Come hither, neighbors equal. God has blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favored man is a gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature.
Both which, Master Constable?
You have, and you will be your answer. But for your favor, sir, why give God thanks, and make no boast of it. And for your writing and reading, let that appear where nose needs for such vanity. You are sought to be the most senseless and fit man for constable of the watch. Therefore, bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all vagrant men and bid any man stand in the prince's name.
How if he will not stand?
Wisely, take no note of him, but let him go. And presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you're rid of a knave.
If he does not stand when he is bidden, he is not one of the prince's subjects.
Truly, and it's metal none but. You shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and to talk is most tolerable and not to be endured.
We would rather sleep than talk. We know what belongs to a watch.
Why, speak like an ancient and most quiet watchman, for I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only have a care that your bills be not stolen. If you meet a thief, you may suspect him by your office to be no true man. And for such kind of men, the less you meddle or make with them wise, the more is for your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly, by your office you may, but I think they that touch peach will be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let him show himself what he is and let him steal out of your company.
You've always been called a merciful man, partner.
Why, I would not hang a dog by my will, much more a man who has any honesty in him.
If you hear a child crying tonight, you must call to the nurse and bid her still it.
How if the nurse be asleep and will not hear us?
Why then depart in peace and let the child break her with crying? This is the end of the charge. You, constable, are to present the prince's own person. If you meet the prince in the night, you may stay him.
Nay, my lady, I think I cannot.
5 shillings to a knot, with any man who knows his statutes may stay him merry. May stay him merry. Well, line.
Now without the prince be willing.
Oh, now without the prince be willing, for indeed the watch ought to offend no man, and it is offense to stay a man against his will.
But my lady, I think it be so.
Well, neighbors, good night. And if it be any matter of way characters, call up me. Keep your fellow counsels and your own good night. Come, neighbor.
Well, masters, we hear our charge. Let us go sit here upon the church bench till 2, and then all to bed.
One more word, honest neighbors. I pray you, keep watch about Signor Leonato's door, for the wedding being there tomorrow. There will be a great quarrel tonight. Adieu, be visited, I beseech you.
What, comrade? Peace! Stir not! Comrade, I say.
Here, man, I am at thy elbow.
Mass, my elbow itched. I thought there would a scab follow.
I will owe thee an answer for that. Now, forward with thy tale.
Stand thee close then, under this penthouse. For it drizzles rain, and I will, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee.
Some treason masters yet stand close.
Know that tonight I have earned of Don John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible any villainy should be so dear?
Thou shouldst rather ask if it were possible any villainy should be so rich. For when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
That shows thou art unconfirmed. Knowest thou not that the fashion of a doublet or a hat or a cloak is nothing to a man?
Yes. It is apparel.
I mean the fashion.
Yes, the fashion is
The fashion. May as well say the fool's the fool. But seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is?
I know that deformed. He has been a wild thief for 7 years. He goes up and down like a gentleman. I remember his name.
Didst thou not hear somebody?
You know, to the rain on the house?
Seest thou not, I say, what a deformed thief this fashion is? How giddily it turns about the hot bloods between 14 and 35. Sometimes fashioning them like a pharaoh's soldier, or Godwell's priest in the old church window, or the shaven Hercules.
All this I see. But art not thou thyself? Pity with the fashion that thou hast shifted out of thy tale into telling me of the fashion.
Not so neither. But I should tell thee that tonight I have wooed Margaret, the Lady Hero's gentlewoman, by the name of Hero. She leads me out her mistress' chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell this tale vilely. I should first tell thee how the prince, Claudio, and my master, planted, placed, and possessed by my master Don John, did see this amiable encounter.
And thought thy Margaret was Hero?
2 of them did, Claudio and the prince. But the devil, my master, knew she was Margaret, and partly by his oaths, which did first possess them, and partly by the dark of night, that did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander Don John had made. Away went Claudio, enraged, swore he would meet her as he was appointed at the temple the next morning, and before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw overnight, and send her home again without a husband.
We charge you in the prince's name!
We have here recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery that was ever known in the Commonwealth.
And this deformed is one of them. I know him. He wears a lock.
Masters.
Never speak! We charge you. Let us obey you to go with us.
After the scene you just watched, Bennett and Beatrice are tricked by their friends to admit their feelings for each other. While that was happening, Hero and Claudio got engaged. Their wedding got ruined by Prince's evil brother, Don John, tricking Claudio that Hero was sleeping with another man. Claudio shames her and leaves her at the altar. Beatrice, outraged, meets up with Bennett after the wedding.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yeah, I know. Weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
How much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is not that strange?
As strange as a thing I know not. It were as easy for me to say that I love nothing in the world so well as you. But believe me not. Yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me!
Do not swear and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that's not you.
Will not you eat your word?
With no sauce can be devised to it. I protest I love thee.
Why then, forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
Thou hast saved me in a happy hour, for I was about to protest that I loved you.
And do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much in my heart there is none left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Go on.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in me. Nay, I pray you let me go.
Beatrice.
In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
Thou wouldst sooner be friends with me than fight with mine enemy?
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height of a villain that has slandered, scorned, and dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man! What bear her in hands until they come to take hands, and then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor, oh, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace!
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out of the window, a proper seeing.
Name of Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is wronged, she is slandered, she is undone.
Beatrice.
Princes and counties, surely a princely testimony, a goodly count confect, a sweet gallant surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake. Or that I had a friend who would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into curtsies, valor into compliment, and men are only turned into tongue, and trim ones too. They are now as valiant as Hercules that only tells a lie and swears by it. I cannot become a man with wishing. Therefore, I will die when one is breathing.
Tarry, good Beatrice, by this hand, I love thee.
And use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
As much as I have a heart or a soul.
Enough, I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand, and so I leave you. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a due account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go comfort your cousin, and so farewell.
This scene from Much Ado About Nothing takes place a bit after the scene you just watched. Benedict goes to challenge Claudio to a duel. Claudio is having troubles of his own. Leonato, Hero's father, and his brother Antonio have attempted to challenge Claudio and the prince, Don John, to a duel. Keep in mind, Leonato and Antonio are significantly older than Claudio and the prince. These men think this is hilarious.
See, here comes the man we went to seek.
Now, senor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, senor. You are almost come to part. Almost afraid.
We had like to have our two nose and snapped off with two old men without peace.
Leonardo and his brother. What thinkest thou? Had we fought, I doubt we should have been too young for them.
In a false quarrel, there is no true valor. I come to seek you both.
We have been up and down to seek thee, for we are high-proof melancholy, and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Dost thou keep thy wit by thy side?
Many have so.
He looks pale. Art thou sick or angry?
What courage, man! What though care killed a cat? Thou hast metal enough in thee to kill care.
Sir, I will meet your wit in the career, and you charge it against me. I pray you, choose another subject.
Nay, choose another staff too. This last one was broke cross.
By this light he changes more and more. I think he be angry indeed.
May I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me! From a challenge?
You are a villain. I jest not. I will make it good how you dare, with what you dare, and when you dare. Do me right, or I will protest your cowardice. You have killed a sweet lady, and her death will fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
Nay, I will meet thee, so I may have good cheer.
What? A feast? A feast?
Our next scene is from Othello. Othello is an African who has achieved the position of general in Venice. In this scene, a man named Iago is trying to manipulate people into thinking that Cassio, the lieutenant, is having an affair with Othello's wife. Iago's also trying to get Othello out of position because he's racist.
That Cassio loves her. I do well believe it. That she loves him. 'Tis apt, and of great credit. The more, howbeit that I endure him not, is of a constant, loving, noble nature, and I dare think he'll prove to Desdemona a most dear husband. Now, I do love her too, but partly led to diet my revenge, for that I do suspect the lusty Moor hath leapt into my state, the thought whereof doth, like a poisonous mineral, gnaw my inwards, and nothing can or shall content my soul till I am even with him, wife for wife. Or, failing so, I thought I put the Moor at least with a jealousy so strong that judgment cannot cure. Which thing to do, if this poor trash of Venice whom I trash for his quick hunting, stand the putting on, abuse him to the Moor in the rank garb, for I fear Cassio with my nightcap too, and practicing upon his peace and quiet even to madness. 'Tis here we but get confused, knavery's plain face is never seen till used.
This next scene in Othello takes place while Iago's plans to run Othello, and Desdemona, in the process, is occurring. Desdemona has no idea why Othello is mad at her. In the scene, Amelia, who does not know this whole thing is partly her fault, tries to comfort Desdemona and feels terrible for her. Her husband Iago, however, knows very well the mischief he has managed to create and will do almost anything to try and keep his wife Amelia from finding out.
Alas, what does this gentleman conceive? But how do you, madam, how do you, my good lady?
Faith, half asleep.
Good madam, what's the matter with my lord?
With who?
With my lord, madam.
Who is thy lord?
He that is your sweet lady.
I have none. Do not talk to me, Amelia. I cannot weep, nor answer have I none but what should go by water. Prithee, tonight lay on my bed my wedding sheets. Remember, and call thy husband hither.
Here's a change indeed.
'Tis me. I should be used so. Very late. How have I been behaved that he might stick the smallest opinion on my least misuse?
What is your pleasure, madam? I'll stick with you.
I cannot tell. Those that do teach young babes to gentle means and easy tasks. He might have chid me so, for in good faith, I am a child to chiding.
What's the matter, lady?
Alas, Iago, my lord hath behored her, thrown such despite and heavy terms upon her as true hearts cannot bear.
Am I that name, Iago?
What name, fair lady?
She says, my lord Othello.
He called her a whore. A beggar in his drink couldn't have laid such terms on his coward.
Why did he so?
I do not know. I am sure I am none such.
Do not weep, do not weep. Alas the day.
Has she forsook so many noble matches, her father and her country and her friends? To be called whore, would it not make one weep?
It is my wretched fortune.
But shrill him for't! How comes this trick upon him?
Nay, heaven doth know.
I'll be hanged if some eternal villain, some cozening slave to seek some office, hath not devised these slanders. I'll be hanged else.
Fie, there is no such man. It is impossible.
If any such there be, heaven pardon him.
A halter pardon him, and hell not his bones. Why should he call her whore? Who keeps her company? What place, what time, what form, what likelihood? Ooh, the Moor's abused by some most villainous knave, some base, notorious knave, some scurvy fellow. Oh, heaven, that some companions thou'st unfold, and put in every honest hand a whip, to lash the rascals naked through the world, even from the east to the west.
Speak within door.
Oh, fie upon them. Some such squire he was, that made you to suspect me with the Moor.
You're a fool! Go to...
Alas, Iago, what shall I do to win my lord again? Good friend, go to him, for by this light of heaven, I know not how I lost him. Here I kneel, if e'er my will to trespass against his love, either in discourse of thought or actual deed, or that mine eyes, mine ears, or any sense delighted them in any other form. Delighted them in any other form. he do shake me off to beggarly divorcement, I still love him. I cannot say to do the act that my theatre should earn no amount of the world's vanity could make me.
I pray you, be content. 'Tis but his humor. The business of the state does him offense, and he does chide with you.
If 'twere no other,
'Tis but so, I warrant. Hark, how these instruments summon to supper. Go in, like the messengers of Venice shall stay to meet. Go in, weep not, and all things shall be well.
In this scene of Othello, Desdemona is hit emotionally once again. After Othello had already slapped and shamed her, he sends Desdemona to her room and orders her to stay in there with no company until he returns. Amelia, her servant, begs to comfort Desdemona while he sleeps.
How goes it now? He looks gentler than he did.
He says he will return incontinent. You have commanded me to go to bed and bade me to dismiss you.
Dismiss me?
It was his bidding. Therefore, good Amelia, give me my night in wearing and adieu. We must not now displease him.
I would you had never seen him.
So would not I. For my love doth so approve him that even his stubbornness, his checks, his frowns, prithee, unpin me. Have grace and favor in them.
Laid those sheets you bade me on the bed.
All's one. Good faith, how foolish are our minds. If I should die before thee, prithee, shroud me in one of those same sheets.
Come, you talk.
My mother had a maid called Barbara. She was in love, and he she loved proved mad and did forsake her. She had a song of Willow. An old thing 'twas, but it expressed her fortune. She died singing it. That song tonight will not go from my mind, for I have much to do but to hang my head all at one side and sing it like poor Barbara. Prithee, dispatch.
Shall we go fetch your nightgown?
The poor soul lay fighting by a sycamore tree, an olive green willow, her hand on her chest and her head on her knee. The fresh streams ran by her which softened the stones. Let nobody blame him, his scorn I approve.
Hark, who is it that knocks?
'Tis the wind. It be gone. Good night. My name doth ish. Is that low weeping?
'Tis neither here nor there.
I've heard it said so. Oh, these men, these men. Dost thou in good conscience think, tell me, Amelia, that there be any such a woman who would abuse her husband in such a gross kind?
There be some such, no question.
What is thou do such a deed for all the world?
Why? Would not you?
No, by this heavenly light.
Nor I neither by this light. But I might as well do it in the dark.
What is thou do such a deed for all the world?
The world is a huge thing. It's a great vice or a small vice.
In truth, I think thou wouldest not.
In truth, I think I should, and undo it when I had done. I wouldn't do such a thing for joint ring, nor for measures of lawn, nor for gowns, or petticoats, or caps, but for the whole world? Who would not make their husband a cuckold to make him a monarch? I'd venture to purgatory for it.
Beshrew me if I should do such a wrong for all the world.
Why, the wrong is but a wrong in the world. And having the world for your labor, 'tis a wrong in your own world, and you might quickly make it right.
I don't think there is any such a woman.
Yes, a dozen. But I do think it is their husbands' faults. If wives do fall, say that they slack their duties and pour our treasures into foreign laps. or else break out in peevish jealousies, throwing restraint upon us, or say they strike us, or scant our former having in despite. Why? We have galls, though we have some grace. Yet have we some revenge. Let husbands know their wives have sins like them. They see and smell and have their palates both for sweet and sour as husbands have. What is it that they do when they change us for others? Is it sport? I think it is. And doth affection breed it? I think it doth. And frailty that thus errs, it is so too. And have not we affections, desires for sport and frailty as men have? Then let them use us well, else let them know the ills we do, their ills instruct us so.
Good night. Good night. Heaven be such usage said, not to pick bad from bad, but by bad men.
I'm trying to come around.
Thank y'all for coming. I'll be getting on
So
the
horrible.